Hello folks, I am Ed Overstreet and welcome to the Night Sky Imaging YouTube channel. Um, Tonight, get my coffee. Tonight I'm already started imaging NGC2264 and NGC2238, the Rosette and the Cone Nebula. I image these two, we call them the iconic nebulas, just because they're spectacular. They're easy to image, but it's always interesting to kind of compare data from one year to the next. And I started imaging, uh, seriously imaging deep space where my images were usable and keepable. I started in 2009, but it was more like 2014 before I had become very comfortable with post processing and had some sense of pride in an image. I was getting data before, but it didn't stack up to what I saw other people doing, and so I knew I was missing a lot, and it was. And so this journey is a learning journey, and with that, let's head over to the two kits that I'm using. Um, by the way, over here to this image right here, it has nothing to do with that I'm using. I took the edge off, the Smith Cassegrain off, because I'm done with planetary imaging, and I replaced that with a Vixen ED81S refractor, and I'm using a 533 ASI 533 mono camera, a ZWO filter wheel, and astronomic narrowband filters are on that kit. And then this is the 65. No, this is the Stellar View 70T triplet, and I also have narrowband astronomic filters on this, HA03 and S2, and attached to that is that's the ASI 1600 Pro camera. So let's go see them. This is the setup that is my, I call this Astro 2 up the top, and this has the 70T refractor and the ASI 1600. And so this is the Rosette Nebula, and I did some imaging last night. I was able to get 40 pics. I got 20 03 and 20 S2. Tonight I want to add to that about 6 hours of data to what I got last night. I started kind of late last night. I was threatened to not image at all because the seeing conditions were pitiful, and I anticipated guiding to be horrific, and it was. So I know that I'm going to have to toss a lot of these images as unusables because of the bad guiding. The wind was also a threat, and it caused some issues. So I'll know more when I bring those hard drives inside and start blinking through the images. But I'm going to go ahead and if I can image tomorrow night, I'll probably continue to add to these two targets just because. The other kit is the Cone Nebula, and you can barely see it, but it's not presented very well. I'm going to stretch this a little higher. If this was rotated 90 degrees clockwise, it would be better presented, but I've got some croppable area. I did have an airplane zip through here. I'm not in a very good part of the sky. I will have more airplanes streaking through both cameras because they're both pretty much in the same area. The Cone and the Rosette are just 8 or 9 or 10 degrees apart in Orion. So it is what it is. Also imaged this last night, and so I'm working on getting 70-50-50, just same output that I have for the Rosette. And we'll go back and look at the Rosette and see it shows a little better, a lot better as a matter of fact. We'll do a medium stretch, and this is HA that's coming in right now, and so it does show a whole lot better than the Cone does, and in HA, because this is rich in HA. It's got a lot of S2 as well, some O3, but I'll probably pile on the O3 tomorrow night if I have some imaging time, and really see if I can't bring some of the Azul, the blues out. And it's really what I think helps makes the Rosette look so daggone cool. And as I mentioned, I like to compare the Rosette I took last year with this one and the ones I took the year before that. And I have some pretty decent pictures that I've got pretty much cataloged and organized from 2014 on. To be honest, pictures that I took prior to that. I probably have them on some hard drives, but I've never been motivated to go see how good or how bad they are. I kind of already know, but it is what it is. So this is an image that's frame 47. I have 198 seconds. The way I've got this set up is I'm planning on taking a total of 70. I took 40 last night, so I've already got 6 in the can, and I'm going for 70. The exposures are 240 seconds, so they're 4-minute longs. And the filter that I'm using is HA right now, and as you can see over here, the HA filter has been situated in the filter wheel, and that's what we're looking through. It's supposed to be in the 30s tonight. I'm only, oh, look at guiding over here. I don't know whether that's a dither or just, or what. I don't know. I don't think it was a dither, but I'm at 8.88 point. That's not bad. I evidently, that spike left the part of PhD that calculates the RMS, because that spike was at least 8 arc minutes, and that would have pushed this RMS up into the 2.5, 2.8, 3.0, something probably. Well, it leveled out, so maybe that was just a, I hope it's just a anomaly. Let's go over and see how guiding's doing on the other kit. The other kit, I need to, I just put it together yesterday. I took the edge off and I put the Vixen together, and I need to run Guiding Assistant. But let's see how guiding, if I can get by. Oh, I'm at 0.60. So if I can get by without having to run Guiding Assistant, yay. Yay, yay, and more yay. And it looks like I can. I have no idea how this is sounding. I made a bad mistake not to check it, but I'm going to okay. Move this mic over a little. just be going back and forth. For a little while I'm live to share what I'm doing. Another pretty healthy hiccup over here. The seeing conditions really aren't good. They're going to become average, but they were poor earlier today when I was imaging the sun. Yeah, guiding isn't going too well. Looks like I need to run guiding assistant on this. Let me see if I'm running my pet curve. No, let me enable periodic error. It's on now. Let's see if that helps. I ran a pet curve back in December, and when I put this kit together, I don't remember what I had on before, but when I put the 70T on, and I did create a new pet curve for that, and I've been using that ever since, and it's really time to run a new curve. You know what I'm going to do? It's a good time to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start running a whole new pet curve for both. Let me unclick enable, and let me just click on sidereal. I want to go to, and I want to stop this. I think I'm going to do 6 cycles is plenty, and my settings are fine. So I'm going to start recording a new pet curve. You can guide while you're running a pet curve. The corrections that are being sent to the mount have no influence really over the creating of this curve. So if you happen to be wondering, and I did for a long time till it was straightened up for me. Somebody straightened me out. Yeah, straightened me out. So we are now recording a new curve, and it's coming along down here. You can't really see it. And I'm going to start one on the other telescope as well, because this could Let me see, am I going to change anything? I don't think I'm going to change anything. I think I'm going to stay with these two kits. The only thing I might do is take the Vixen off and put the Rosette up. That's a possibility, but alright, let's make sure we don't have PEC enabled, and we don't. So let's click our way over and check. We have 9 cycles. I don't need 9 cycles. We'll go 6 cycles. 6 turns of the worm. And everything looks fine. So let's start. So we're capturing and there's that hiccup, I think. Maybe we can peck out this thing. Is that a word? Peck out? I don't know. All right, we got pet curves working. Wow. Yeah, that just showed up on my pet curve. That's bad. I want to know really what am I? I'm guiding it 1 second. Okay, I've got a 243 signal to noise ratio, which is huge. Plenty. So I can go at 1 second. Wonder if I'm at once. Last night I went from 4 seconds to 1 second on both kits, trying to chase scene, which you just can't do. What happens when you have bad scene conditions is the stars are moving. They're just bouncing around, and it has nothing to do with your kit. Your mount's doing its thing, but the stars are actually, they're normally not movable. I mean, they're normally stationary, but scene makes them appear to be jumping, and so the mount is seeing those movements, star movements, and it's sending corrections to try to adjust for it. Well, there's nothing it can do to adjust for scene. So that's the problem. And when you have good scene and your stars have settled down, that gives your mount and PhD a chance to really work its magic. But we're at 141 RMS on this second scope, and I can get by with that because this is a 600 millimeter focal length, and the image scale. What is the image scale? Let's look. Let's bring up control box, and let's go to camera. We need camera. And so our image scale is 2.32. So if I'm under 2.32 RMS, then I may have bloated stars, but as long as the DEC RMS and the RA RMS are fairly close, they should be round. So that's what we're hoping for. I'm hoping that these two new PEC curves will help sort out these random spikes, because they don't appear, although I haven't followed them that closely, it doesn't seem like they're anything but random. You know, if they were happening about every 8 minutes, or 6 or whatever what is the warm period on this? If it's happening every, well, I guess I could have multiple issues. I don't know. And right now we're at so we're going to have we're at 487 of 2,874 clicks. Take about 35-40 minutes for this. And we're about the same. And this is the Cone Nebula. We'll do a medium stretch. Yeah, I'm going to have to crop this because I haven't rotated this correctly. And it needs to go, I need to go out and rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. I've got to remember that. 90 degrees, not quite. Yeah, 90 degrees counterclockwise will be good for this side of the for the east side of the meridian. Guiding's fine on this one. I want to bring sharp cap up and try to get some live stacking going on. Yes, these laptops are slow. Okay, we want to open up folder monitor camera for this, and we want to live stack, and let me move some boxes out of the way here. Okay, and let's see, we need to browse for a source folder for these images, and we're in here, the cone light, and that's what we want. No, I just wanted light. And we'll pick the very first image and all fit files. And let's run it. And it's going to be adding all of those frames we took last night and tonight. You know they're not going to be good because I know some of them have some wild stars. I'll wait till it's done stacking what I've done so far. And I'll adjust the histogram. Let's see, we got to you got to fit this to screen. So there's 55 frames stacked, and actually that's not a that's actually not that impressive. I think my one single image looks better than these 90 that are stacked. So we'll close out a sharp cap. There is a lot of nebulosity in this area of the sky, besides the cone. Keep it at a low stretch. Check guiding. I had a boo-boo right there. That wasn't a dither either. Let's check our pec curve. So we're at almost 800 of 2874. So we're recording our worm's imperfections, and maybe we can minimize those somewhat with a new pec curve, periodic error correction curve. And let's go check the other setup. I have 2 telescopes I'm running tonight. We're at 1023 of 28. We're not quite a halfway through, and this is and this is a nice capture of the Rosette NGC2238. It's got a lot of different catalog names. I just picked this first one that comes up in Sky Safari Pro. Got a nice and balmy out, 44 degrees. Great night for imaging. Any night's a good night for imaging. It is, it is. If you just joined, you're wondering what I'm doing. Creating a periodic error correction curve for my EQ mount, HEQ 6 mount. I'm actually making a correction curve for both. I'm imaging with 2 telescopes. Again, I almost always do that. And so here's the Cone Nebula, which is NGC2264, and I'm creating a curve for that as well. What's the weather going to be tomorrow night? Let's see. So tomorrow night it looks to be pretty promising. I'm going to be leaving, actually we're leaving Thursday morning, so I'll probably early, and going to be gone about a week. So I probably won't image tomorrow night after all. Then rain's coming in. So this stopped for some reason. I'm going to stop this and start another entirely different one. Folks, I've lost this one. I think no, I'm not sure what I did. Alright, we're going to need to re-slew, and somehow or another I moved this and stopped this, so we're going to have to resume progress. I'm moving boxes around, and tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to sequence, reset the sequence, preserve progress, and let's run it. And we'll go bring up the outside camera. Okey-doke. We don't need that now. And it's going to run autofocus. I happen to know focus is fine, so I'm going to cancel that. Let me it's going to plate solve. And we're 73 pixels off in DEC and 3 pixels off in RA. We are plate solved, so it's resuming the guider. I could turn my camera off. I'm having to recool everything. And it's starting to take retake images. I wonder what happened. Alright, now let's start our pet curve. The other one ought to be getting close to being finished. We're at 1700. We got another 1,000 clicks. That's over 12 arc minutes. Arc seconds. This was the first year that during the summer I didn't bring the mounts in and take them down and clean them because they stay out year round. I just got lazy. So I'll try to get by until this summer when it gets to be impossible to image the threat of thunderstorms, plus the very short summer nights make deep space imaging really tough. So planetary, Saturn and Jupiter, mid to late summer. So sometime around June, July, I bring the mounts in and I hate doing it. Take them down and clean them and re-grease. Lithium them up. So if you're just joining, I'm imaging the Rosette and the Cone Nebula with the other telescope. I'm using two mono cameras. One's an ASI 1600, the other's the ASI 553. Both mono. I'm using astronomic narrowband filters, HA03 and S2 for both telescopes. And I'm running a new PET curve for both setups. Somehow or another, and I really don't know what I did, but I have these streaming boxes that get in my way. You can't see them, but they cover up parts of the image of the screen that you're seeing. And evidently, I clicked on something and shut the whole sequence down because the this setup over here had to be restarted. And we're about to take our first image. I want to make sure we've got a good plate solve. Yeah, we do. I can tell. 2, 1. So here's our first image after the thing shut itself down, and there's our Cone Nebula. A medium stretch. I tell you what, the mean is really pretty high tonight. The mean sky fluxes. We don't have a moon, so I don't know why. And I'm not imaging over the city. I'm imaging over the darkest part of Spartanburg County. But looking down here, wonder what the other one is. Let's see. Let's go back to it. And see, the mean's 730 on this. I like that. Huh. The difference between the wow. The ASI 1600. This is the ASI 1600 camera. Same filters, astronomic filters, shooting HA. And then this is the ASI 533 monochrome, shooting the same filters. But the mean is bad. And they're both aimed within just a few degrees. The targets are not but maybe 10 degrees angular separation. The Cone and the Rosette, they're pretty close. I'll turn on the outside camera. See? They're both aimed at the same part of the sky, so go figure. This is the Vixen. They both have moonlight focusers, electronic focusers. There's a laptop under this towel that's designated for this telescope, and over here under the towel is a laptop that's designated for this telescope. And I'm connected to both using Wi-Fi from my house, which is right over here. And so I use a software program called Splashtop for business, and yeah, it'll be over here, and then I can connect to, this is my planetary laptop. These are other computers that I have that are lightweight and small that I can attach to the telescope. They're just not as fast. They don't have this Wi-Fi strength. They just don't work as well. So I've just been continuing to use the Astro 1, Astro 2, and this is another mobile one, and this Nook Box 2 is another mobile one. But at any rate, it is what it is. So And we'll bring our, oh, we're only at 470. That's right, we restarted that. And see how the other one's doing. We're getting up there. We're at 2202 out of 2874. So we'll stay with this and till it's done, and then I'll enable the pet curve. So let me we'll keep an eye on the Rosette images that are coming in. NGC2238. As soon as this is finished making this curve, periodic correction curve, I'm going to record it, which is saving it, and then I'm going to enable it and run it. That's the plan. So as soon as this is done, I'll get my new pet curve up here. It's creating it down here, and I'll get my new pet curve. You can actually save it if you want and just open it up, but then I'll record the pec, and then I'll enable it. It's telling me right now that it's on, and that's because I have it activated. I'm only doing 6 turns of the worm gear, which is plenty to determine where there's worm imperfections or issues that are repeatable. with every turn of the worm. I mentioned earlier I like to image these two iconic nebulas because it's kind of cool to compare images that I took last year and the year before and the year before, just to see if there's changes. Maybe we'll find a supernova one of these days. I've got a good catalog system. I started that in 2014, where I have my images cataloged, and I can search the images using different search criteria. They're being managed by Lightroom. I really don't use Lightroom for any manipulation of the pixels. I do almost everything in PixInsight, sometimes Photoshop. I'll take that back. I use Lightroom for some solar manipulation. I'm doing the sun, particularly a time lapse. Actually, since this is the 533 camera, there's no need to crop. I can just rotate this image 90 degrees because it's square and it'll be oriented just fine. I don't need to crop anything. But the it needed to be rotated. I need to go out and rotate this 90 degrees counterclockwise. It's just the opposite, so that the cone looks like a Christmas tree instead of laying on its side. So if you're joining, I'm taking the Cone Nebula while I'm also recording a new periodic error correction curve. And when it's done, I'm going to enable it. I'll show you how I do that in EQ mode for both telescopes. And then the other telescope is taking the Rosette NGC2238, and I'm also pretty close to finishing this periodic error curve. I would have been close to finishing the other one, but did something and I parked the mount, had to start all the sequence all over again. I did something and shut the whole thing down. The camera started warming, mount parked, and I thought I was imaging. PhD put the brakes on. This curve's got a, this is the time, the period of the worm gear, start, finish. And this is the making of the periodic error curve. You'll have to pretty much following the path of prior curves, which shows there is some predictable nuances to the worm gear that need to be smoothed out. And getting close to the end. You can do these curves for almost any telescope using your hand controller, but again, you're outside. I prefer using EQ mode anyway. I really do like the way EQ mode manages my mounts. I do not like Celestron software. I have an AVX and primitive, just primitive. And we're getting close to the end, and we will have our curve. There it is. So there is our pet curve. So we want to record it and refresh. So it's now training, and when it's finished, I'll enable it. Right now, we're tracking its sidereal plus the periodic error correction curve. I'll ultimately end up turning that on and this off, that off and this on. And then this can be applied every night without creating a whole new pet curve. And the only reason why you might and would want to redo it would be if you start moving the clutches on your mount. And if you don't have, if your encoders won't remember what you're doing when you manually move the mount via the clutches, my two mounts will, but a lot of them don't, then you need to rerun your pet curve. But it's kind of a good idea, just because stuff happens to your worm gear. Chips of metal might come off. Just stuff happens. Dust, dirt. So I recommend it. While it's sometimes you have to wait the entire turn of the worm. There'll be a green vertical bar showing up pretty soon, and when it crosses, that'll be when it's recorded and the recording's complete. And I'm going to go back to the other telescope and make sure we're We're tracking in sidereal. We don't have a curve currently, or it would show up here and show up here. We're capturing a history of predictable issues on the worm gear, and as soon as we have those, we're hoping EQ mode will make adjustments to the software, will make adjustments to the turn of the worm so that we can peck out those errors before, so they won't even be guiding errors. We're getting about halfway there with this telescope. That being the case, we have 54 seconds remaining in the next image for this Cone Nebula. And after 2 nights, we have a total of 55 images of HA. We have 20 of O3 and 20 S2. Those were taken last night, and then hopefully tonight, all said and done, I'll have 70 HA, 50 O3, and 50 S2 of the cone. And then let's see how this one works. I can tell from my guiding graph things are going okay. Over here, I don't know why I'm doing a pet curve. So come on, red line. And here's the rosette. Ooh, check out this. Well, I don't think we helped it, because it's being applied right now. Disappointing. I'm just going to have to bring him in. I am. It's making corrections. Okay. Start. All right. Let's start recording, enable, refresh, and PEC is on. So hopefully I'll get some improved RMS numbers. I like the 60s, 0.60s, and let's go back over to check out PhD over here, and we're in the 0.50 range, and that's all good. Well, folks, there you have it. This will continue to run through the transit, which is about, it will actually flip around 10:30. I think the transit at 10:40. I usually go about 30 minutes past meridian. It plate solves so much better after that. You don't want to plate solve too close to the meridian. There's no wiggle room for the amount to adjust. If it has to go east, you might be up against the meridian. So I like to let it run 5 to 10 minutes past the meridian at least sometimes. I think I have mine set to 30 minutes. There is not a threat of my telescope running into my pier, nor would there be a tripod. You can always go at least 30 minutes past, and so that's what I'll do. And then these things set pretty early. Let's see, how long do I have to image? That's what I need to know. So we'll find that out. So transit's at 10 o'clock, hour and a half. So I've got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I have roughly 4 hours, and then I'm at 4 hours and change to image. So that's what I have for the Cone Nebula. Now, I've got 5 hours of time, and that doesn't account for focusing between filters and dithering. So I'm going to drop this down to 60. I'm at 410, and this down to 45. I'm at 342 and 45, and this down to 45. Now I've got some wiggle room. So I'll run these for another 3 hours and 30 minutes. And when I'm done, instead of having 70, 50, 50, I'm going to have 60, 45, 45. That will be plenty. That'll be about 8 hours total imaging time for the cone. And it'll also be about same thing here. Let's bring up planning tools. Okay, this is going to transit around 10. So we've got from here to here, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It changed again. Again, they're about in the same place in the sky. So I got the same problem. I got 4 hours left. So I'm going to take this down to 65. And I'm going to take this down to 40. Let's go 42, 43, 44. All right. That's what I got left. Better save both of these. And let's go back over here. Oh, I didn't want to open that up. Hit the wrong doohickey. So I want to go to Try to save this one too. And let's bring this up. We're at 1989. And we've got probably another 15, 20 minutes. 10 minutes. Let's see, trying to figure this out. 6 goes into 28. Probably about 13, 14 minutes left before we get this finished, and then I'll record and then enable. But I'm going to go ahead and bid everybody a good night. I'm going to be up with this until they flip, and then I will let them run their course, park, and shut down. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has a great rest of the night, rest of the week, and I'll catch you later.